Now, while I'm doing these calls, and I will continue to do these calls, um, because I want to help. There's enough people doing presentations. I want to help with any practical questions, but also hopefully inspire you guys, all the ones who want to do this and take advantage of the compensation plan which LifeWave offers and change your money lives. I've been able to do that. After COVID, I had a lot of debt because 3 of my projects fell apart. One of them cost a lot of extra money to put right. One of them's in a court case, and one of them died completely. So some friends helped me at that time, and I've managed to repay them, all thanks to LifeWave. And now, as time goes by, LifeWave is unfolding. When you start seeing the compensation plan with level 1 matching bonus, level 2 matching bonus, and last week I hit level 3 matching bonus, you see it unfolding in front of you, and you can see who's really showing themselves as I want to do this, because you actually see their names. So I want to, tell me the things that are difficult. So maybe I can give you some thoughts to help you on growing your networks. I do like questions. I do like to share my thoughts. And I do notice, and don't take this amiss, you guys from South Africa, but a lot of you stay silent. I'm not sure it's your schooling, you were told to be quiet. But anyways, let's hear something from somebody, so we got something to work on. This is worse than being an auctioneer.
It's a large part of South African culture.
Sorry, can't hear you, Wayne. Your thing, had to do it the last time.
Yeah, is that better?
Much better.
I think it's true. It's a large part of the South African culture that in the past it was a case of be seen and not heard. And I've seen in LifeWave we have a lot more senior people dealing with it, our sort of generation, 40s through to 70s and 80s. So it's a big thing for me, especially just to speak like this. In the past, I would never do it. Network marketing has brought that about, that you start to change.
So then let me ask you a question. When you're out and about, do you share LifeWave with the people you come across?
I find it, as a result of networking, now very easy to strike up a conversation anywhere.
Great.
And in the past, I was very shy and very reserved, wouldn't normally do that. But through networking, reading the type of books and what you're encouraged to, what do they call it, the self-development, has made a massive, massive change. And I found that I connect with people well. So I've just had to learn to do that. And now I find I do cold calling all the time, but I don't see it as cold calling, because cold calling for me was very negative. I hate the rejection. I've never been somebody that handles the rejection very well. And but I find it very easy to connect with people and talk. My challenge that I have, and I don't know if anybody else has it, is I see the opportunity, I see the health benefits, and you see the financial benefits, but not everybody sees that, and that frustrates me when they don't see it for themselves and they don't get going as quick as I'd like to go. So there's still that element of rejection.
So you want to sometimes shake people.
Yeah, the patience talk about, and the regular follow up. That's a weakness that I see in myself. Is I follow up maybe 3 times, but I need to learn to follow up 12 or 15 times.
Yeah, in a light way, but with keeping your posture. I had somebody he's an old friend who's coming on Saturday to the event. But he sent me a message. I'm not going to be a recruit. I will come in the morning to see you, but I'm not going to be a recruit. And this is not for me, with an exclamation mark. And I said to him, "Excuse me, I'm not trying to recruit you. I really don't care whether you come or you don't." I'm showing you something that can maybe solve your problems because he's got a big money problem now. And but he says, I've done my research on the internet. And I said, the people say that clinical trials are not. I said, you know what? Come, listen, decide. Forget about the internet. But because he's an old friend, I can be that blunt. None of you would be here if I hadn't followed up with Chris about, I don't know, 10, 12 times. And something I said, got him. Got to because he was overwhelmed at the time, back against the wall with his business life, working 15, 16 hours a day on a project, no time to think. Because this is what happens when one money's like this, and when you feel like you're back against the wall, it's very hard to think clearly about anything. So when you reach out to people, each person being completely different, it's what I said in last week's call. I'll mention a few things and see where there's a reaction. One guy, when I said my financial anxieties have disappeared, no reaction whatsoever, because he's a man who has a good money life. But when I mentioned Parkinson, he's like, tell me more. Other people completely uninterested in the health thing. But when I say my financial anxiety is gone and I've kind of recovered from the mess that COVID gave me, they're saying, oh, that could be interesting. So it's really
something that you and Javi said last week when you did the call together and he came on, and you were saying focus on solving people's problems. So striking up the conversation is a good thing, but I need to learn to hear what they need so that they're giving me the answer for themselves instead of me trying to close them. And that was very valuable what you said last week.
So look, Uber driver example. So talking with an Uber driver, I talk with every Uber driver, and you're driving an Uber, and is that giving you the money that you need? How many hours a day are you doing? And is it your main thing or is it an extra? And they'll start telling you about their life, and then you go, most of the times I'll say, I feel I should probably tell you about something. And I'll go over it, not too long. And I'll say, but listen, I'll give you my card and look at a little video that's on, there's a website there, look at a little video. And it's a very, very basic website. I didn't have time. I said that last week and I haven't had time this week to do anything to it. I will be making it into a much slicker thing, but not too slick, just not just a plain white background. But anyways, and some people come back to me. Some don't, most don't, but some do. But I haven't been taking anybody's number deliberately. I had one guy, I have his card here, and we've spoken twice. He's an Uber driver in Miami, and I will continue with him. But generally, I don't take somebody's number. I give them mine and see. For example, Mike Hernandez, who's Javi, the one who sponsored Javi, he says, if I've told them, for a few minutes, and he says, I've told you everything you need to know, here's my number and contact me if it's interesting. And that works as a kind of filter, but it's also helps you develop your posture. Javi's always talking about posture, your how you are with people. I was at a dinner, and this might sound very strong, but a dinner with friends in New York, and the wife said she's Chinese, and she said her parents are in a very worn out frame and they're shuffling. And I said, I think you should probably try the patches with your parents. And she said, yeah, I think we should. And he goes across the table, he goes, no. He says, placebo effect, Lourdes is full of them, people with placebo effect. And I just said to him across the table, and we're friends, but I said, you don't know what you're talking about. You're talking a load of shit. And it's like, huh? And but in the past, I might have gone, no, it's real. You should look at it. No, boom. And that really made him sit up. I mean, he then later said, "I'm glad you found something for you," but who knows? Maybe with her in time, she will try it with her parents. But she was dominated by her husband's thing. And really, I don't care. Obviously, I do. I would love everybody who I talk to come into Lifeway, but the reality is most don't. But so it's like some will, some won't. You really have to get that. And it's always a process. Some will, some won't. So what next? And it's a process. It's completely a process. Everybody. By the way, some people's process is quicker and some people's process is slower. Some people want health, but they don't want wealth, and other people want health and wealth, and some people just want wealth. And the health is a byproduct. It doesn't really matter, but when you want to build a network, I mean, the other thing is, Wayne, and everybody else on this call, look in your downline. I know a lot of people who think, okay, I've sponsored that person and now they're not doing anything. No, you have to help them. You have to show them what to do. And you have to get to know the people who are with them, who came in. For example, there's a lady here, Ursula, who's who's from Poland, and she came in with somebody called Agnes, who came in with some a guy I know from another event 12 years ago, a guy called Neil, who wrote a book on inflammation in the body. I thought I better tell him, and so he, for example, he's not so much for the network, but he is for the product, and he brings people in. Agnes came in with him, and she was like, I want this for the business as well. And Ursula came in, and we're working every day now with Ursula, so that Ursula will become manager, I hope in 2 days, maybe. After when she came in, maybe less than a week, just over a week ago. I'm not sure exactly. But Ursula is very clear. I want to do this. I want to do this. She's still beginning to understand it. It's a process, but she's already got this, I want to do this, and the rest of it is a process. Let me ask you to unmute. Sure, Ursula.
Mm-hmm. Hello, do you hear me?
Hear you, very loud and clear.
Okay. I just want to ask you how to explain people, because when I am talking to people that this product is amazing, the people ask me if this product is amazing, why we don't have, why we cannot buy everywhere? Why they don't say everywhere?
That's a great question, and the story is why we're working as a network is like this. David Schmidt, he worked. I don't know if you've heard this story, and most of you have, but some of you won't have heard this. David Schmidt, he developed some device, some kind of machine for the Navy SEALs, for the mini submarines in America, and because of that, he got to know them, and they said, "Look, we want to develop something. We'd like something so we don't have to use caffeine or Red Bull type products for our energy." So he developed his first patch called Energy Enhancer. So what happened? The towers went down, and he said the Department of Defense priorities changed, and there was nobody taking the telephone. So he thought, what do I do with what I've discovered with my technology? He said, I'm going to take it public. So he sets up his company, and he's in the beginning of talking with a distribution company called GNC, which would distribute it to all the pharmacies and across America. But then he's having lunch with a friend who says, I want to introduce you to a friend who might invest, who says, I want to introduce you to a doctor, who introduced him to another doctor, who introduced him to a man called Richard Quick, who was the coach of the Olympic swimming team in 2004. So 3 weeks after having that lunch, he found himself putting patches on the Olympic swimming team. And he said to himself, you know what? This went person to person, and it would have never, I would never have got it to the Olympic swimming team if it was on the shelves in GNC. It would have never got there. So God, I think God's trying to tell me something. On his second visit, when he went for the Olympic trials, they said to him, you know what, the Olympic committee's concerned that there's pharmaceuticals going into the body, so they did that. He had to go and see other doctors. They had to send it for analysis, and it was accepted that no, there's nothing except the light going back into the body. And he said, I'm going to work it as a network, person to person, because there's a couple of things here. It will, person to person, it will reach more people all over the world who really need it. And David Schmidt has a big, big vision for people's well-being, not only in health, but also in wealth. This company gives 60% back of its money back to the brand partners and is determined to change the landscape to do with network marketing. Many people have had a bad experience with network marketing for all sorts of reasons. Bad companies with products that are not great, or even companies with great products with not good leaders. You know, on the call last night, which was with Wilson and Bridget, I jumped in at the end and talked, and Wilson said something which, you know, it was very nice that he said it. It was great that he said it, but I would say exactly the same thing. We have here in our team, in our teams, a super helpful culture that we've created, and great leaders who are actually not ego driven, but purpose driven. You have, I've been on calls with network marketers from other companies who are like, you know, I'm Tarzan, and showing I'm very big, I'm this. We're not in our team, where it's all about the purpose, helping people with their health, helping people with their wealth. So that is why it's not on the shelves in chemists. Allows people to, it gets it to more people in more places all over the world, 87 countries now, and it helps people get out of debt and become wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a good answer?
Yeah, thank you. Very good.
Do you have another question, another thought?
No, not now, no.
Okay, anybody else? Jack, have you got something to say? Something to share? Haven't heard from you for a while. Okay. Oh, Jack has jumped over he was there on my screen. Oh, there he is. When you put your video on, it jumps to the people with video, and now you've moved again. Okay, there you are. Hi, Jack. How are you?
Hi, good evening. Good evening, George, and everyone online. Wayne, my countryman, seriously, and Dr. Ali, thank you for reminding me. I was just having some load-shedding issues, but luckily I got on board of the Zoom call because, yes, it's quite some time. George, yes. Listen, just to give you an update, you know, I'm so passionate about advertising and doing digital marketing, and I use another program. And unfortunately, I did something wrong when I post an ad on Facebook, on my personal Facebook page. And I just spoke to Kurt this morning. Unfortunately, my account was suspended. So I'm just waiting for the reply. From.
So you're not the first person. You're not the first person that's happened to, and I'm going to say this, which may sound very strange. Yeah, you say when you're in the communication with the compliance department, say, please guide me to what I can say and what I can't say. Yeah. So develop a relationship.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, it's the same thing. Chris also told me what to do and what to say. Because openly I saw there's a lot of Facebook pages of people of the community we are part of, And I never knew that, or I never, it was not my intention to do any,
Yeah, of course. I know you're a good guy, but you
yeah,
just
so so yeah, so that was the only actually thing what happened to the last, I mean, since this morning. But I'm very positive everything will be restored. The car will be reinstated. I believe that is possible. And my journey is still excited, very much excited. And the people in the community and the support I'm receiving from this group, just being on a live Zoom call like this evening here in South Africa, just reignite. Sometimes things go up, sometimes things go down because you find some people who are really not like-minded and like-hearted. And as you were saying before, it's just your approach, how to approach some people. And the thing is, some people really, especially now I'm talking on behalf of some of the experience I experienced here in South Africa. Some people really need the health benefits. That is important in the beginning. That is actually why LifeWave was started, and that is actually still the goal of LifeWave is to help people all over the globe to improve their health. That is the thing. The financial side, and that is what I also like. You normally you also go out and try to just make other people understand that there's also a financial benefit to this. Some people don't want to talk about it, but come on, guys, let's be real. Who will not do with an extra 1,500 per month or per week or per year? Because every person in the circumstances is different. Not everyone is, how can I say it? Life happened. Life happened to me. Coming back to South Africa after working for the United Nations for a couple of years, having a good income, coming back and start looking at some online businesses, nothing worked. So many platforms was there, and some people are still going through that. Now we can be healthy, and at the same time we can earn by trying and helping other people. So I want to say thank you, George. When I saw the message from Dr. Ali, I said, no, I have to jump on. So yeah, I mean, that's in a nutshell. Thank you, Helen. Thank you, Helen. I can see you. Thank you very much. Thank you, George.
So look, Jacques,
Good to see you too.
I don't do any social media. I hate to go to Facebook, and I never go to Telegram. I mean, that's me. I just talk to people. So that said, I know social media has a place and it's important for a lot of people. But I would say, guys, talk to people. You can put. I mean, if you really understand social media and know how to use it, and you're in compliance with what LifeWave is happy for you to say, then do it. But don't. I've seen a lot of people spend a lot of time on social media getting nowhere instead of actually talking to people, because sometimes it's easier to say, I'm putting stuff on social media and I'm not. Look, I've had a lot of discussions with people saying, okay, you can reach people, you can connect with people, you can stir their interest, but there comes a point where you actually have to sit, talk, and work with people. It's not magic. It's pretty magical, but it takes the human side. Anyway, I'm glad to see you're super happy. You're looking happier than when I first met you, so that's huge. And smiling like.
And look at my hair. My hair is growing by the day.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, Jacques. We have a question, I think, from Carola. Thank you. I'm gonna remove the spotlight, and I think I saw Carola had her hand up. If you want to unmute Carola, if you're still here, there you are.
I'm here. Thanks, George.
Hi.
Ellie has already.
Yeah, thanks. It was about, sorry, I have two different screens, so I'm probably looking in the wrong place here. It was about using IceWave for somebody with shingles. But Ali answered it and agreed that, because I was saying, can we put them under the feet and then also sort of at the neck somewhere? Because the person is at the other end of the country. She's in Joburg, Pretoria area, and I'm in Cape Town. So I won't be there to do placement. I just need to.
There are some videos online. If you go to YouTube, IceWave placement, you can find those videos.
I watched those, yeah.
And if I recall rightly, I've heard David Schmidt talking about using 2 sets of IceWaves. So if it's severely painful, I would try that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'm also trying to be a bit frugal, so using 4 patches when there's only 15 or 15 days with 15 sets in the pack.
I understand.
Yeah, I mean, she's in a lot of pain. So
IceWave, in my view, is, I think Ali said it on another call, it's like first aid kit stuff to have at home. I've always got IceWave here, and you might use it for 2-3 days. It's for one. I see IceWave. Let's say you banged your toe, or you banged. What I did, I was on the way to America, and I managed on the way to the airport jam my finger into the car. It was like luggage and sit there. So yeah, that's the moment to use IceWave. You know, like big pain, and for 2-3 days. But then long term, I was using Aeon on it, and I don't know. I haven't seen. I don't recall. Put it this way: I may have seen, but I don't recall having seen any testimonial on shingles. But there may well be. But I would with that, I would always put X39, and if depending on the budget, glutathione is the body's master antioxidant, and Aeon. And use those 3. If there's no budget, I would just stick with X39. I don't know what Ali would say about that. Not prescribing anything, that's what I would do with if it was myself. I have something here which is, well, hang on, I'll turn the blur off. These little things appear every couple of years, and it's not very nice, but you see this thing here, and it's a bubble that'll appear every couple of years, and it'll just burst. It's really itchy and horrible. Doctor's got no idea what it is, and the biopsy on the last or 2 of them ago, and this time, since I'm here with LifeWave, I'm using Aeon and Alavida next to it, and the other ones, the old ones, have left marks, like a purple mark on my skin. But this one was like 4 times the size a month ago, and there's no purple mark around it, which is amazing to me, because all the other ones have left a mark on my skin, and this is just closing, and the skin near it is looking like normal skin. So I'm very happy with the Alavida and the Aeon for this. But you have to try, really.
Yeah.
You have to try.
The budget is very tight with these people. So I'm suggesting that they sign up on a silver package and then get 2 sets of X33 and Aeon, and then I thought IceWave, because she's also in a lot of pain with arthritis and stuff. Every now and then, it's now been diagnosed as gout.
Look,
so.
I'm going to say this, which may sound a bit strange. One of my people, he's English guy, he lives here. He's very cautious. He's with severe diabetes, but he said okay, I'm going to try this, and he was on 10 units of insulin a day, and after a month he was down to 6. And he's not somebody who's understands about networking or business, or but he calls me every so often. Can you make me a new order, please? The second time it was, look, my ex-wife would like the products. The third time is my secretary would like the products. Can you make me an order for my secretary's friend? So it's naturally expanding with that little nucleus of people. But what he said to me is, I would pay anything to get out of pain. He lived with a neck brace for many years, and he said, I would have paid anything to get out of that pain. So it may or may not. Somebody said, Nigel said in the chat that there's something about shingles. Let me go to the chat here. He saw shingles on testimonials, but didn't click the link. So if you have access to the testimonial group on Telegram, you may find something about shingles.
Oh, okay. I looked on Telegram. I searched for shingles and there wasn't.
Right. I mean, I haven't.
I can search again. Oh, shingles.
Maybe Nigel can help you find it. If you can do that.
I would suggest any testimonial for neuropathic pain would be relevant, because shingles, post-shingles neuralgia is a neuropathic pain. So any of the testimonials on neuropathic pain would be relevant.
Thank you. I
Thanks.
had no idea. Now I learned something. You know what Javi always says, and this is really true. We all learn from each other. And he says, the one thing I've got on you is experience, but the one thing you've got on me is experience. So I could never have said that, because I don't know this stuff. What I know about is the stories that I've seen, the people that have lives have changed, the people whose money lives have changed, and David Schmidt. With his, David Schmidt is one of the most, he's one of the most special people I have come across, because when you meet him, he's quite shy, he's very formal in a way, when he kind of does these little bows, which is sweet. And I completely, okay, in this world, we're in a world full of all sorts of strange stuff going on, all sorts of scams, all sorts of bad news, and here we've got good news with a person who's absolutely strong within himself about bringing well-being to people and helping people also with their money. So I don't know if you saw the Vision 2024 event, but you got to know him a bit better there. And anyways, super, Wayne, thank you. Okay, let's see if somebody else has a question or something to say. We got like 20 minutes, so let's hear from somebody difficulties that you're having. How can I help you with them? Okay, Helen is.
George, I just wanted to say that with Carola, I think she's on the 333 group. I can send her something.
Please.
And I may have, Carola, can you hear me? I may have something on shingles for you. I'll just go through my notes, and I do have something to send you that might be of help for other conditions as well, with absolute pleasure. And George, I certainly do agree with you that it's such a blessing to be a part of this company led by such a genius and such a humble man, because his heart is to do good. And he's so wonderful to having expanded this to us, that we can make a difference. And I want to just expand on what Wayne had said earlier, where he may have lacked confidence to reach out to others, and which is an issue for many, many people. But what LifeWave does is LifeWave, by sharing this amazing product, helps us to gain more confidence because of the beautiful testimonies that we've been exposed to and the wonderful healing processes that we've experienced. And so people buy from others who they like, trust, and respect, but they listen to more about your excitement. So even if you're an introvert, when you get excited about this, because there's no ways that you can't, it's just so wonderful, because you're like a magnet. People want to know more. They want to hear more. And why? Because you are going to resolve their pain, heal their pain, or help one of their loved ones or a friend, because everybody knows somebody who needs to improve their health on some level or another, whether it's mental, physical, emotional, or spiritual. So it all ties in so beautifully together. And we do have an amazing leadership, and we thank you, George, for all your support always, and Chris and everybody, because this is what it is. It's become a global family, and when people feel comfortable and safe within that family, they are able to expand on themselves on so many levels, and they're willing to step out and overcome their fears. So the people that we have on board, the system that we have on board, the vision that David has, the Encompassum family that we have through the company, and all the wonderful experts in their field. He doesn't just employ anybody, he employs somebody who's going to contribute and make a difference. And it's such a blessing. We can work on ourselves.
I would say this. I spoke in Orlando. I spoke to everybody who's in the corporate side, all the top people. I had conversations, every single one of them. I didn't have a bad feeling or a jangly vibe from a single one. So Ursula's got a question again. Thank you, Helen.
Pleasure.
Thank you. Ursula, question.
I would like to order for my daughter today Alavida, and she studied in England, so I would like to send straight from to England, but it's not available in England.
No. You mean, Alison, is Alavida patches available in England?
No, we can't have Alavida patches.
Okay, so it's not available on the British store. So the way to do that would be to, if somebody's going to England, for them to have Alavida, and I would get the day cream, the night cream, and the eye cream. The eye cream, he's going to do a talk about it next Wednesday, I think it is, and it's going to be available from the 14th. I got to say, I'm very thankful. I was sent one as a sample, and it's amazing.
Yes.
It really is very, very. And the first day I put a little, but that little was too much. You have to use very, very, very little of it. So so for you, for your daughter, I would order. I would probably wait a week until you can get the Alavida Trio and the eye cream, and when somebody's going to England, to take it with them.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. And the second question is, if somebody has experience with Lyme disease. My son got it 5 years ago when he was on holiday in Poland, and I don't know if I can support him. That nothing happened bad with him. He is 16 this year. But she has this sickness. So what we can do? Yes.
I've seen lots of testimonials on Lyme disease. I'll see if I can find them. I remember digging them out for somebody and sending them to him. So maybe I can find that in my WhatsApp for you.
Thank you.
But if I remember, they were all people who started with X39. I would definitely put X39 on your son.
Okay.
And I would, again, I know this sounds repetitive, but I would, and again, I'm not a medical person, and maybe Dr. Ali would say something else, but
okay.
I
Yes, maybe
would
Dr. Ali.
always start with X39 for like 2-3 weeks, and then I would add Aeon and glutathione and see what happens.
Okay, thank you.
I will look for those things and send them to you when I find them.
Thank you very much.
No, you're welcome. So guys, who's got something to ask, some difficulty, some question? And let's hear. So Carola again. Here we go. Let me
Okay.
tell.
Thanks. If there's nobody else, yeah, it's a question I've asked before, and I'm still not clear about it. If somebody's got polycythemia vera, which is a disease that produces too many red blood cells mainly, it's like leukemia, but with red blood cells. Is there any possibility that by adding stem cells into the system, you would?
I've got no idea. I have no idea.
I think I'm asking the doctors on that.
I really have no idea. But
Yeah.
what I would always, from what I've seen over the last 14 months, I would always use X39 and see what happens. I do believe I've seen testimonials on leukemia, but the fact that when your stem cells are reactivated, amazing things happen in people's bodies. That's the thing. And I told the story the other day, but a child with something called Batten's disease, CL1. The parents said, will this do anything? I said, I've got no idea. But you just told me you've got no hope. The doctors have told you there's no hope. So I would definitely do this. And they in the next conversation, they said, the child is sleeping and we're actually managing to sleep. And they said, we're seeing other things, but we don't want to talk about it yet. And I understand that, because when my cough went, I didn't want to say it out loud for quite a long time to be sure. If I said it's gone, you come back again. That one's called put the mockers on things.
Yeah, I just don't want to make it worse, because if the guy dies,
you won't make it worse.
That's my only quick, because all the other things I've said, it can't cause any problems. And then this particular one, I thought, well, I don't know, if you're adding stem cells and producing more cells.
Look,
we're not adding stem cells. We're not adding stem cells at any point.
You're reviving them, yeah.
Thank you, Alex. Your voice is just what I was going to say. We have to understand. We have to really understand, and I say this almost every day on the groups, in the Spanish group. The X39 is not designed to treat or cure anything specific. It's not designed to treat or cure anything. It is designed to stimulate two copper peptides, one called GHK and another one called GHK-Cu. When that happens, our stem cells are reactivated, and then the stem cells go to work in a body. Each body is different. Each person has used and abused their body in a different way. We all have different DNA. So we cannot know what the reactivated stem cells will do in a body. That said, we've seen miracles. Okay, but at the same time, the fact that there's a testimony about something doesn't mean you will have the same result if you have the same symptoms. You may not. You may have it, and the timeline will be completely different. An example: my friend Julian, he had tinnitus. 2 hours and 20 minutes, it dropped in half. Chris's girlfriend Lucinda took her 7.5 weeks to notice any change with her tinnitus. The fact that we don't find a testimonial for something doesn't mean that the stem cells reactivated may not do something. It just means we haven't found a testimonial. It's very important to get this really, really clear, because otherwise you're going to try and be a diagnostician. I am not a diagnostician. Dr. Ali is a doctor. She diagnoses things. She knows. I've read 2 of the clinical trials. I couldn't understand anything I was reading. I mean, I didn't know if the conclusion was this or the conclusion was that, because it's medical language. I have a friend, he read all 80 of them, and he can talk in that language. I can't. I can tell you how this works, what it does, the results I've seen with people, and hopefully inspire people to take part in it. So Ali said, yeah, she's quite right. She said, we're not adding stem cells, we're reactivating their own stem cells. Unfortunately, the person has to discuss the use of the patches with their doctors, who may say no due to lack of understanding, which is very true. And then she says, we cannot have testimonials for every condition, and we can't have clinical trials for every condition.
Yeah. No, that's fine. I'm absolutely fine. I can live with that. I just want to know that it's not going to make it worse. That's the only thing I was asking because of the nature
Again,
of this particular disease. But
Again,
thanks, Andy.
I'm not a doctor, but I can't tell you other than to say it's going to reactivate that person's stem cells. That person's stem cells are designed to in the original design of the body, that person's stem cells was to support that body. So that's the only real answer I can give you. I don't know if somebody else has got an answer.
I'm just saying we cannot say that it's not going to make it worse. There aren't any clinical trials. We can't say that it's going to make it better. But we can't say that it won't make it worse. We've just got to give people the evidence and let them choose in conjunction with their own doctor. But I can't say that it's not going to make leukemia or lymphoma or cancer worse. The reason we avoid it during chemotherapy or in pregnancy is because if somebody has a miscarriage, they'll blame the stem cell, they'll blame the patches if they were using them. If their cancer comes back, they'll blame the patches because it's easy to do that, not because the patches caused the cancer to come back or caused the miscarriage. So it's about safeguarding ourselves and the company against litigation. So we can't say this won't make polycythemia rubra vera worse. We can't say that. We don't know that. We have no evidence of that.
Okay, thanks. It's just a risk one has to weigh up. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to remove those spotlights and see if anybody else has something to say, something to ask. And thank you, Alison.
So,
Thanks very much.
present
And
what
George.
you see, final decision for themselves.
Wayne, your mic is doing its thing. Can you do whatever you need to do to make it?
Sorry. I was just saying that we can only present what we know and the testimonials that we've got. People have still got to make a decision for themselves. They've got to take responsibility for their life. That's what Dr. Ali's saying. And I had to take and make a decision based on what was presented to me, whether I would use the patches or not. That's nobody's responsibility but the individual. We can only share what we've got, and the choice is theirs. And it's beautiful that we don't have to diagnose or be doctors or try and determine what's going to be the case for each human body. We're just activating stem cells that are already in the body, and the body does what it's supposed to do.
That's it. That's it. And then Ali said, exactly what would be my posture as well. If I had PRV or leukemia, I would not hesitate to continue to use the patches. But then again, everybody has to make their own mind up. Yeah. Anyways, I think we've done that one. Let me ask if Dr. Olufemi has some thought to share on this particular part of the conversation. And I'm looking forward to meet you as well on Saturday. If you have something to share there, please open your mic.
I do have. The unfortunate thing is that we tend to forget that the body is a unique piece of equipment that does far more and probably does it better than even those of us who claim to be doctors can do. The body knows what to do. All that the patches will do is stimulate your stem cells to begin to do the work that they were created to do. And the disease profile that you probably have may have happened because, one, you didn't have enough of those stem cells. And the other thing is that you didn't have the nutrients that the stem cells would have needed to do the work anyway. The patches do not in and of themselves make the body do anything other than stimulate it to let those stem cells get to work. And when they get to work, some kind of magic happens.
And talking about nutrients, guys, if you guys were on the Vision 2024 call, you will know, thank you, Dr. Olufemi. You will know that David has worked on nutrients to supplement with the patches to support them. And one of the things that I got on the call last night, which I listened to half of it this morning because I couldn't get, it's 2 a.m. for me, was that one of the things that becomes possible, and I'll have to listen to this again, and I'd encourage you guys to listen to that call, is that with the nutrients that are going to be coming out to use with the patches, we'll be able to say things about stem cells that we couldn't before just with the patches. I need to listen to that call again, and I would encourage you guys to listen to last night's call because it was very, very interesting. I only listened to half so far this morning. Thank you. Okay, look, guys, in 3 minutes we got a call with David Schmidt talking about Silent Nights and X39, and I'm really interested to hear what he's going to be saying about using the two of them together. I personally have never used Silent Nights. I haven't. Going to sleep has never been my issue. Mine has always been getting going in the morning, and X39 dealt with that for me. So, you know, I'm fully in action. Okay, Ali uses them all the time. So listen, guys, thank you so much. Jump on that call with David Schmidt. Going to start. Okay, thank you, Sandra, and thank you, Belinda. I'm going to be on the road for a few weeks, but I'll work with Chris to see when I can jump in and do another one of these calls. And yeah, let's just make this big, get it everywhere, and share David's vision of getting this into 1 billion homes. The emotional ripple, the emotional health, the life wave ripple out into the world will help the world. So thank you very much, everybody. Until the next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers all.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Hey, Ariella, nice to see you.
Yeah, it was late, very late. I couldn't get in. I don't know. I have no Wi-Fi here, and I had to connect it with my phone, so it was difficult.
Well, let's try and talk in the next couple of days, even though I'm going to be in London going tomorrow, but let's try and talk.
Very important, yeah. When are you leaving?
Tomorrow morning.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I want
to be at the airport at 9:15, which is about as early as I ever want to get to the.
Okay.
But
okay, thank you very much. So, where could we get into the call with David now?
So you should you will have found in your email an email with the link to that call.
Okay, so I will try to see it.
And if you don't find the link, send me a message. I'll dig out mine.
Okay, thank you, guys. Bye. See you soon all.
Bye.